Hello, I'm Janet Dupree from Engagement Dynamics. Our Astute Women, Astute Leader and Astute Minds events are part of our global village ecosystem to raise astute leaders across the planet. On the 5th of March 2021, we partnered with great delight with the EMEA chapter of Keynote Women Speakers for an International Women's Day event, which we titled The Ripple Effect. I hope that you will enjoy this short, riveting presentation from that event.
So it gives me enormous pleasure to introduce my friend, Anna Herbst, who heads up Keynote here in Europe. Anna is a passionate leader who lives her purpose of helping organizations and people grow and flourish. A sales and marketing professional with more than 15 years experience in multinational environments with international responsibilities. Anna thrives on leading transformational projects with a strategic focus. Anna excels at identifying new opportunities and believes that you must take people with you for meaningful long-term change. In her free time, Anna focuses her energy on leading and developing Keynote. Keynote is the Women's Speakers Directory in EMEA, so Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Based in Europe, this non-profit organization is passionate about women's empowerment and long-term sustainable change, and it is phenomenal to have this collaboration today with Keynote. So I hand over to our keynote speaker, Anna Herbst.
Thank you, Heather, for the lovely introduction. It's my pleasure to be here. And hello, good morning, everybody again. Hang on, I have a slight problem with my camera. There you go. So, have you ever gotten up in the morning and everything went wrong? You wake up, you look at the clock, and you realize the alarm had not gone off. So you jump out of bed, you rush to the shower, you slip on the bath mat. Next, the milk for the coffee has a bad smell, and you think, okay, no coffee then. You rush out of house, you rush to the bus stop to be in time for work, and the bus leaves right in front of you. Angrily, you make your way back, you bump into the person waiting next to you, you grumble at her, she stares at you gloomily, and she thinks, why does she get in my way? And there you go. Not only will Murphy probably follow you the entire day, you've also passed your bad mood on to somebody else. How different had it been had you taken the missing alarm with a pinch of humor, had embraced the situation, and had gotten yourself a strong coffee at the bakery on the way to the bus stop. While you wait in line, you chat to the person next to you, you exchange a friendly good morning, and on the way to the bus, you pass the change money to the lovely musician who enchants everybody with his accordion tunes. Thank you, he says, and smiles at you, and you made his day. It is our choice how we approach others, how we respond to others, what we pass on, and how. The famous Jane Goodall once said, what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. So, of course, this does not only apply for day-to-day interactions, but it's also applicable in a greater context. We can choose to make an impact in many ways. And many great books have been written on making an impact, on leadership, and on change. And there are so many different points of view, methodologies, buzzwords swirling around. It's quite a challenge to make sense of all these concepts. Now we've just seen that change is needed in this world. So let me just take this opportunity to connect the dots a little bit today. Being it our families, our friends, our company we work for, or even the company we have founded, associations, charities, our environment in general, the way how we interact with others and in what activities we engage is deeply driven by our values and our beliefs. And of course, there is a cultural aspect to it as well, but let's stick with the values for a moment. What are your values? Values determine how we respond to a situation. So if someone disregards or does something that goes against our values, that naturally leaves us with a negative feeling. And in the contrary, if a situation is in line with our values, we are motivated, we are passionate, we are full of energy. So our values define what is important to us. They are the foundation of our purpose, our reason for being. Now you might think, what is my purpose? And what if I haven't found it yet? So I asked myself the same for a long time. And I even jokingly said that my purpose is to just not have a purpose. But don't worry, it takes time to find your purpose. So be patient with yourself. Everybody has a purpose. And it's underlying to the question why we want to do things, why we want to achieve certain goals. And it is our motivator, our driver. It's our goal, our vision, and the target that we want to reach. The target that we set for our life, our company, our business, our environment, our society. Most of the time, we cannot achieve our vision without the help of others. We need their support, and ideally, we want their commitment. So commitment, contrary to compliance, is generated when those others believe in your vision, when they are inspired. Your purpose and your vision resonates with them, and they want to be part of it. All those people who support the Black Lives Matter movement, those people who joined the Fridays for Future, they are all inspired by one dream, one vision, one goal. So achieving a goal inevitably goes hand in hand with a change in the status quo. It requires a change process, a transformation from the current state to the desired state. And that is why change needs courageous leaders. It needs astute leaders. It needs people who dare to challenge the status quo. When does change happen? It happens when the dissatisfaction with the current state exceeds the fear of changing it. It happens when the vision of what is possible is more appealing than keeping the status quo. Of course, not all change processes are fueled by inspiration. Sometimes change is just required due to economic circumstances, let's say, and that's often the case in the corporate environment. And in such case, it's even more important to not only highlight the aspired goal, but to take people with you and get in the doing mode. Change happens when first steps or even first little successes prove that the goal can be achieved. So why do some movements trigger action and others don't? I don't know how it is in your country, but in Germany, we currently see lots of experts, so-called experts, criticizing the government's COVID-19 strategy. Or, well, they criticize the absence of the COVID-19 strategy. They accuse and they precisely describe why things should be done differently, and they might even be right in that. But what they do not include is any suggestion or any constructive call for action. They just leave their listeners with a feeling of frustration, of anger, but there is no suggestion how we can contribute to the solution, how we can support. No why, no vision, no call to action. It's just an unsolicited call for change. If we want to achieve change, we need to show a credible way how to achieve the desired goal. Providing a vision or an inspiration gets people on board, but it does not lead to change yet. Great leaders not only share a vision, but they also initiate action. A vision that is not followed by a call to action is just a drop of water on a hot plate. To avoid that all this inspiration fizzles out, we need to define what we are going to do to achieve the goal, which means that at the same time, we also need to define what we are not going to do. This is why we need a mission. This is why we need a strategy, a strategic path of action that leads to our envisioned state. We need to draft a roadmap that is needed to really implement the change and to achieve the goal in feasible steps. It must not be fixed in stone. It can be flexible, but it is our call to action. Allow me to cite a quote that is originally from Joel Arthur Baker, but it's frequently attributed to Nelson Mandela as well, who summed it up very nicely. Vision without action is just a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. And vision with action can change the world. Ultimately, that means that every vision needs a call to action, a strategy, and every strategy in return also needs a vision. Why would people follow the implementation of a strategy if they don't know where they are headed? They would merely comply with the actions required by leadership. So what does that mean for us as astute women? What difference do we want to make? And what is our call to action? If we lead in sync with our values, if we inspire with our purpose, if we act as role models, we become authentic leaders. We lead the way to action. We are inspirational leaders. but also strategic leaders. If we win the trust of our supporters, if they identify with the purpose, vision, and our path of action, we win their commitment. And together we will achieve the change we desire. So let me close with the beautiful words of Mother Teresa, who once said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." Thank you.